as well.
Yeah, we got two sleep specialists here, Dr. Shelby Harris and Dr. Michael Gelb. And it's going to get very interesting here. You know what they say, early to bed, early to rise makes somebody really cranky. We've all had trouble sleeping at one problem or another, right? Luria, how did you sleep last night?
Last night, a little choppy, but I had so much on my mind. You know, I had the to-do list, and I'm getting ready to fly out today, and so all of that, and today, you know, I talked about it was my dad's birthday, and so I just had a lot on my mind. So it was like one of those, you know, I was getting up, I was changing the thermostat, that kind of stuff.
Do you find like when you're overtired, you really can't go to sleep? You would think you would want to be able to, you'd be able to fall asleep quicker. All right, let's talk. Yeah, Dr. Shelby Harris, the Director of Behavioral Medicine at Montefiore Health System, is here, and for other changing behavior.
And then we have Mike with us as well. So let's start, first of all, let's start with our girls for a second. Okay. How'd you sleep, Sue?
You know what? I kind of run on 4.5 hours of sleep a night.
Oh, that's not enough.
So my alarm clock goes off at 1:15, all right? So I hit it at 1, and then I sleep for 15 minutes, 1:15, and everything is an increment of like 10 to 15 minutes.
What's your husband doing during this time?
He's usually on a 24. He's a fireman, and or if not, he's dealing with the kids and he's sleeping.
Okay.
So he's handling the kids so I can get up and get going. But really, it's just, you know, about 4.5 hours. So sleep is very much an optimum, and I think a lot of people who are shift workers, as we've learned, and a lot of us are overnight shift workers in a city that's 24 hours and never sleeps, sleep is very hard, especially when you're juggling parent life, a sandwich generation, taking care of older parents and your young children. So you feel very sandwiched, very stressed on every front.
And it's hard to get. Jen?
Yeah, I mean, I got my standard 3.5 hours last
3.5?
What are you going out?
So
like, what are you doing?
Not even a little bit. I'm not as exciting as you think I am. So, I mean, I usually go to sleep at around 9 o'clock. I'm getting up at around 2. And don't forget that, I mean, I worked nights before I started with Good Day Wake Up. So I had about a weekend, this is back in August, to transition to a dayside schedule.
Learning a whole new pattern.
I lived without an alarm clock for years. So this is new. I'm still trying to adjust. It's just not an easy process at all.
All right, Dr. Shelby, give us some advice here. You've heard just a little bit of what's going on.
Right. Well, shift work is the hardest thing to really adjust to. Our bodies are meant to go to bed when the sun goes down, just a few hours after, and then wake up when the sun gets up. So some people are just easier at adjusting to shifts. Other people aren't. So the best way to really adjust to it is using light and dark. You have to be careful with the timing of doing it, but if you really want to do it, consistency with the sleep-wake pattern, it's not easy for most people. But on your days off, keeping the same sleep schedule.
Don't sleep in.
I know, really sleeping in. If you shift, your body's going to try and go back to some other sleep schedule, and you just can't set a clock.
What about setting the room like blackout shades?
Exactly.
And, you know.
So if you're trying to sleep, sometimes like in the summer, if you're trying to go to bed when the sun might still be out, right? You want to have as dark a room as possible. So blackout shades. You want to use sometimes white noise if there's going to be noise outside. Things to block the noise, block the light, make it quiet, calm, relaxing. Turn off your phones. Electronics will make it even worse. So nothing like that now before bed.
What if you subscribe to the theory of using melatonin or Ambien or some kind of other sleep aid? Michael, is that a yay or no?
Short term, yes. You know, I think a third to half the women, you know, no one sleeps anymore, right? People, they can't fall asleep, or they wake up around 2:30, 3 in the morning, stuff on my mind, I can't go back to sleep. So short term, Benadryl, melatonin better, magnesium glycinate.
What does magnesium do?
Relaxes the muscle, good for the heart, good for headaches, good for relaxation.
How long before you want to go to sleep should you take, and how much magnesium?
About 400 milligrams, maybe about 45 minutes. You know, before you go to bed, and it helps just, you know, relax everybody.
For the person who feels like, oh, I need a drink, or I want a glass of wine, or something harder, or eat something, does that go against?
Well, we were talking 3 hours. You want to give 3 hours. You don't want to drink. You want to give 3 hours between you last had a drink or you last had anything
3
to
hours,
eat. 3 hours. That's the new magic number. And so you're going to wake up dehydrated if you drink. You'll get to bed, but you're going to wake up.
In the middle of the night.
My question is REM cycle. We always hear about REM. Are you getting enough REM sleep? Now, I feel like I'm getting into my REM and then waking up. You know, you feel your body
doesn't sound good.
Yeah, you feel your body coming out, not completely getting into sleep. How do you define REM for your particular daily life, and how do you optimize it? That's my question.
Well, REM sleep, there are different stages of sleep that you actually want throughout the night. So people always say I want REM sleep or I want only deep sleep. You want actually different stages. REM sleep is the more active sleep when your brain is really dreaming the most during that stage. You're having memory formation. That's the stage where your brain is working the most. The deeper sleep is when your brain's off and the rest of your body is kind of repairing all the muscles. So you want throughout the night. So the best way to really do that is, if a lot of people will snore a lot, and Dr. Gelb can probably speak to this a lot more too, snoring can really impact REM sleep. Alcohol, certain medications can impact REM sleep a lot. So you want to look at that as well as the consistency of the sleep you're getting, making sure you're getting enough sleep and not having an alarm clock that's waking you up in the middle of certain sleep.
What's your philosophy on naps? Because I hear that people go back and forth about this all the time. I was told 20 minutes, no longer, or you're going to be groggy whenever you wake up, and it's going to really throw off your sleep cycle at night.
Yes. So 20 minutes is the ideal of a power nap. So it will help you earlier in the day to refresh you so that you can then sleep better at night and sleep throughout the night. If you have insomnia, though, and you have trouble sleeping or you wake up a lot at the middle of the night, you shouldn't be taking naps, or you should avoid naps, because
So what
it might make it hard.
happens going beyond that 20 minutes? What happens to your body that makes it not beneficial?
It's okay. You just wake up groggy because you get into a deeper stage of sleep.
You're in a deeper stage.
Yeah, you feel like you're in a cloud when you wake up. So what about people who split sleep? You know, they'll sleep 4 hours when they get home.
Oh yeah, I know plenty
and then
of people do that.
right on your shift. I've heard people split sleep.
I'll speak. I don't think a lot of people feel like 20 minutes. You know, how do you break down 20 minutes when you have children and family? That's impossible to do. And I'm just going to say that. That's ridiculous. I hate when doctors tell me to do things that I cannot do.
Right.
I feel like, when I get into a 45-minute pattern, that I just feel better, because I'm kind of like trying to accumulate sleep, which I know you can't do either. What I'm curious about is when I'm sleeping, I don't even know if I'm snoring, heavy breathing, or
That's what we're talking about. It's the quality of the sleep. So I'm saying, if you're going to get a 4, you're going to get 4.5. Make it a really good 4.5.
Exactly.
Make sure you're not snoring. Make sure that your airway is open, that you can breathe through your nose and you can breathe, that your jaw's not falling back. So we make the airway bigger. We enlarge the airway. We maintain an open airway during sleep, which gives people more restful sleep.
And snoring can either be something that's just mild and not a real big issue, or it can be actually the belly of a bigger problem, right?
It can be the sign of sleep apnea.
Right.
And it can be actually ruining your sleep. It can be disrupting your sleep. So sometimes it's a noise, but more often it's disruptive, it's disturbing, it's fragmenting the sleep. So you wake up exhausted in the morning, or you're getting less oxygen than you should.
Yeah, because my husband always says, I didn't sleep anything, last night. And I'm like, you had me up all night snoring. And so maybe he does have sleep apnea because...
Men are in denial.
Right. And if you get
But women snore also.
And if you get enough sleep at night, or get close to enough sleep, and you're still needing lots of naps, or needing long naps, or you're falling asleep really easily, then maybe there's something going on with that quality of sleep that you're having.
How about other homeopathic kind of ways to sort of like decompress? Magnesium I never heard of, but what about other oils, essential oils or something like that?
Valerian root. Valerian is something, right, that we've talked about for a long time.
What do you do with it?
You don't smoke it.
It comes in
a capsule.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know if you put like a little drop on your
pillow.
Well, lavender, you can try some of these relaxing things, but that's more relaxation during the day. I don't think that's going to really give you a good quality sleep.
What about Ambien?
Don't do it long term. It's good short term. It's hypnotic, but you don't want to be.
You don't want to mix it with anything.
And if you're a woman, you don't want to take too much, because you'll be sleeping. You'll be doing stuff during the day that you don't even know that you're doing. So
we've had that in the news before, where people have driven all kind of things.
So since I'm not getting enough sleep, I've sort of been fascinated by this and what can actually happen to your body if you don't get enough sleep. And I've read that if you get under 5 hours, your risk of pretty much everything goes up, right? Cancer, diabetes, hypertension. hypertension. So what can actually happen, I mean, long term if you don't get enough sleep like that?
Well, like you were saying, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, stroke, heart attack. I mean, there's so many
things.
Weight gain is a big thing. So I'm seeing a lot of people come to my practice now because they're struggling to lose weight because they're not getting enough sleep at night. Memory is now becoming a really big concern for a lot of people. People are coming because they're concerned that they're having cognitive problems. So it's really across the board that it's becoming an issue. If you're really struggling with getting enough sleep or you have insomnia where you just can't sleep, we're really trying to treat it behaviorally now using something called cognitive behavior therapy as opposed to using medications. Medications are okay, but it's not the first line treatment. We don't want to create more problems in the long run.
So, you know, I tried to get 6-7 hours of sleep, and, you know, I've been on the shift 9 years. I did nights for a long time, so it was like, you know, moving the Titanic, coming to the morning schedule.
Trust me.
But you have to be disciplined, and I'm wondering, why don't you get 5 or 6 hours of sleep? Are you trying to like normalize your life?
Yes, that's exactly it. I'm trying to live as much of a normal life as I possibly can. I know it's going to be more difficult in the summertime too because, you know, it's still light out and
you want to go out.
You feel like you're being punished almost.
I think a lot of women feel like they have to be super women. I mean, honestly, because you have to take care of your family, you have to take care of your parents, you have to take care of everything, you have to do the grocery shopping, cooking, and you can sit there and put the honey-do list together, but let's all be real about that. Sorry, Dr. Gelb. You know, you can put it all together, but it's not coming together unless you're the glue that holds it together. And children in bed is another thing.
Well, I'll tell. Well, yeah, they shouldn't be there. But I mean, you know, this shift is new to me of being later because for 17 years I was on the air at 4:30 to 7, and when I first started at Channel 7 100 years ago, I had a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, and I was also a control freak, so I wanted to make sure I was there to put them to sleep. I couldn't just say to my ex, you know, you put them to sleep, Brian, I'm going to sleep.
So you're feeling what Suki's feeling right now.
Exactly, yes, and so that was 17 years of watching them. So let me just say, you'll survive.
It does get better,
Yeah, it does get better, and then they get older.
You know, it gets better.
And then you have other problems.
Right, exactly.
But all right, so final thoughts, Dr. Gelb. Dr. Gelb.
Final thoughts is if you have a problem, if you're not breathing well, you know, open the airway, see your dentist, see a physician.
So the dentist
now is getting into airway and sleep because most of the obstructions behind the tongue and the soft palate. So behind, in this area right here, jaw falls back. So see your dentist, someone who's been trained in sleep, and or get a sleep study, see Dr. Thorpe, or go up to Montefiore and get a sleep test and get a diagnosis.
Know what's going on.
Know what's happening.
And there are lots of personalized plans that can be done. So if you have shift work, if you have to only sleep 4 hours at night, we can really personalize things to try and optimize your sleep schedule, optimize the quality of sleep you're getting so that you can really try and live the best life with the most energy you have day after day.
All right.
Does that help you, ladies of the early morning?
No, it does. No, it does.
It does.
It does. It does.
It was good stuff. Good news.
All right.
Thank
you. Appreciate it. All right, we're not finished yet. We're just going to take a quick little break because Audrey's standing by. She wants to talk about the weather. And are you feeling sleepy right now?
Not right now, but I'm sure nap will be shortly coming within the next few hours. All right, folks.